We're up in the northeast today. We've called into the offices of Positive Directions, where we're going to be meeting a few of their tenants who are currently having some support, living in the homes provided by Sheltered. We're also going to go and see one of the properties that's just been finished and ready to hand over to a new tenant. Hopefully this will give you an insight into the whole picture of the tenants, the support that they're receiving, and the quality of the properties that have been provided. So we're here with Sarah, one of the tenants at Positive Directions North East. Sarah, thank you for joining us. Would you like to just tell us a little bit about your background, your story?
Hiya, I'm Sarah. I'm a bit nervous, sorry.
No, it's perfectly understandable.
So my story is I've been an addict since I was 13, 22 years of active addiction till I finally got some help in 2017 and went into a treatment centre. I got clean for 4 years. Went through quite a lot in my clean time. I lost my dad to cancer. There were a lot of trauma that went on around my daughter with somebody I nearly married, and he was in recovery as well. And inevitably that trauma, I relapsed on it after 4 years being clean and in NA. So I was in a massive relapse for 3.5 years, and I moved to the North East. Moved up here with a car, a house, my child. My daughter, she's now 19, and I had everything I needed, you know what I mean? But I got that bad and stuck in this relapse and in addiction, I lost it all.
Right.
To a point where I started getting heavily, stomach rumbling. I got heavily involved in addiction, you know, it was bad. I'd never seen sort of life that I'd seen up here, down where I'm from, so it actually opened my eyes. I just thought I need to start getting myself back together. I want my life back, you know, because it was slowly going to kill me with addiction. I'd ended up in Durham Hospital with sepsis and E. coli because of smoking crack.
Right.
Because crack was my drug of choice, and that couldn't even stop me using.
Right.
My daughter used to say to me all the time, "Mum, not even nearly dying is going to stop you," and I just could not stop. And I decided, you know, I don't want this life anymore. I want my life back. So I sought out a treatment centre.
Okay.
Up in Seaham. I went there in May. There wasn't very much support from them. We were kind of put in a house. It was all supported accommodation, but shared.
Okay.
So I was put in a house with some other girls, and the girls weren't staying in the house because there'd been some rumours about me going around. So quite a lot of bullying going on in that centre. I ended up relapsing after 18 days and kicked out for 4 weeks.
Right.
Thankfully, I still had my council property, so I had somewhere to go back to. But I gave that up.
So otherwise you could have been on the streets then?
I would have been on the streets because it's just basically like you're out for 28 days.
Right.
I understand its consequences and stuff. Anyway, so I'd already signed to give my house up because I thought, well, that's where I was staying, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I managed to stay at my house for them 4 weeks, and I got let back into the treatment centre. There was so much bullying coming at me from the staff. There wasn't working they're supposed to be working a 12-step programme. There were no support. There was, you know, they were quite harsh with me, you know, accusing me of using and stuff like that. So I was like, well, get your drug test out, you know, let's do this. Anyway, it got to a point where the manager actually come down. She was quite horrible to me, and I said, I can't live in these circumstances, but I'd given up my house. So I literally had nothing. And I decided to leave.
Awful.
I decided to leave because I couldn't live in that toxic, it was no good for my mental health.
Yeah.
I decided to leave. There were quite a lot of bad rumours going around about me through the centre, and I just, you know, I'd not done anything that they'd said I'd done.
And this is somewhere that you've gone as a safe place to help to rehabilitate.
To get well, and I've just been bullied and drove out of the door, basically, by the staff and the clients that was in there. So inevitably, when I left, I had nowhere to go. I found myself at my daughter's on her sofa for a couple of days, and I managed to get myself a flat with a lad. He started giving a lot of domestic abuse. I'd ended up relapsing again, so I was back in a relapse.
Okay.
This lad, he absolutely brought me to a point where, you know, I'd had enough. I'd had enough. I reached out to Positive Directions.
Okay.
I said, look, I'm in a domestic violence relationship. I'm homeless. I want to get clean. I've had enough. And you know what? They helped me out so much. They offered me a home.
Yeah.
in a village where it was away from this lad, away from the places where I'd used in the northeast, and you know, it gave me an opportunity to get in there, and it was a beautiful home. It is a beautiful home. I'm still there now. It's given me an opportunity to get myself away from everyone that was using the circles that I was in, to get myself into recovery. You know, it's given me that isolation gap. It served its purpose. I would not have been able to get clean if it wasn't for Positive Directions, giving me a home, a beautiful home, somewhere warm, somewhere safe, somewhere clean, and somewhere tidy, fully furnished. Yeah, I finally got myself back. I'm a couple of months clean. I'm working in an NA programme. Like I say, I'm an active member in the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous, with the free group, helping women that are struggling, that are vulnerable, like myself, I was just a few months ago. But none of this would be possible, and would have been possible, if Positive Directions hadn't stepped in and said, here's somewhere safe for you to go. Yeah. You know, and I was ready to just sort myself out.
Brought the support along with that though, right? Not just throwing you the keys and put you in a house.
No, they come twice a week to see me. They come to do a property check every Tuesday, and they say my house is like one of the cleanest houses that they go to. Yeah. I'm allowed to have my daughter to come and sleep, and that is massive for me, because she can come to mine, and I've got her a double bed in the spare bedroom, and she can feel safe, and she loves her home. She feels comfortable coming to see her mum, and she sees how well I'm doing. Yeah. You know, and I owe my life to Positive Directions. I really do. Nice. You know.
Thank you. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you. It's all right. Yeah.
All right. Go for it.
So this is Lucy, another one of Positive Directions tenants in the northeast. Lucy's very kindly agreed to come in and just talk to us a little bit about her story and where she's at right now. So Lucy, can you just give us an idea about how you came to Positive Directions?
I was homeless for 12 days. Positive Directions, I've been there like last night. My heating broke. 7 o'clock at night. Right. They're at my house at half past 7. Beverly.
That's
from
brilliant,
Positive.
isn't it? How responsive is that?
If I didn't have Vicky,
yeah,
I've really attached to, and if I didn't have them, I don't know who I would have.
Yeah.
I haven't got anybody. I'm 101 miles away from my children. Vicky keeps me alive every day, even if it's just morning.
Yeah.
Changed my life.
Yeah.
They've made me, supported me, and like I do drink a lot of energy drinks. It was like 18 a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Helped me through that. They got me doctors. Naomi at the moment is just going to fill out housing. I want to be in Shildon.
Okay.
I came up here 4 years ago to be in Shildon. Been with them for about a year-ish, give and take 9 months.
So does the support worker come to you in your home then, do they?
Yeah.
And how often is that?
They would come every day.
Right.
They would, if you needed them to come every day. Me, once a week, you could ring them as many times as you want.
Okay.
They could probably come 2 if you really wanted them, and if that was your needs and that was you. Mm-hmm. For 2 months, me texting Vicky every day has changed my life and has brought me up a step of falling off the wagon.
So it is a bitterly cold day in the northeast of England. There were sub-zero temperatures overnight, and at this time of year it's even more critical that we're doing everything that we can to tackle the homelessness epidemic that we have in England. Depending on which sources that you look at, statistics can vary, but what does seem to be unanimous is the trend towards more homelessness, more people on the streets, more people in temporary accommodation, and more people on housing waiting lists. So here in the northeast alone, there are currently 66,000 families waiting for some form of social housing provision. Official figures show that there has been a consistent level of over 600,000 empty homes across England for the past 10 years. At Sheltered, we're working hard to buy as many vacant, distressed properties, just like the one you see behind me, as we possibly can. Homes which, for whatever reason, have been left to fall into disrepair, into an uninhabitable state that we can bring back into use and make into a nice place for people to live. In the year to date, Bailey Capital has been responsible for buying and renovating around 50 houses, all of which have been then handed over and leased long term to our trusted supported housing providers. The result is that there are dozens of people who are now living in a warm, safe, secure and comfortable home that they can start to rebuild a new life from. Right now in our acquisition and development pipeline, we're on course to triple our output over the next 6 months, and we will deliver a minimum of 150 bed spaces. There is no upper limit to the amount of housing that we can provide next year. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can be involved in delivering this quality and standard of safe, secure housing for people who are vulnerable and need help, then please get in touch with the team today.